Good evening, I'm Josh Krupp. We are following breaking news at this hour at the Franklin Park Mall in Toledo, where police are currently at the scene of a shooting. We have been told 2 people were shot here. No word on a suspect. The mall is closed for the rest of the night. If you can't stick around for much longer than this, that is the basic of the basic information that we have at this hour. I'm going to take you to the scene here and show you and walk you through some of the information we were just able to get. Detectives just came over seconds ago to our crews and gave them a little bit of an update. No formal press conference or anything like that is scheduled for the rest of the night, according to them, but 2 juveniles are the victims here. No word on any suspects. The shooting happened around 6 o'clock, give or take a few minutes on either side of the top of that hour, in the food court inside the mall. We've talked to people who were there who said that they heard gunshots going off inside. They saw the commotion. And since then, we've seen several police officers coming and going from the mall inside there. If you were watching on Action News at 7, you saw our crews live in just outside the mall doors there. Still a few cruisers at the scene here of this shooting. Again, 2 juveniles shot here at the Franklin Park Mall in the food court. No word on their condition right now as we come on the air here and are discussing this with you currently, but also no word on any suspects. Still in the very early hours of this investigation, and it's going to maybe perhaps take a while before we do get any confirmed information that is slowly starting to trickle out here from the Franklin Park Mall. But the basic information that we have at this hour is that 2 juveniles were shot. No word on a suspect, no word on their condition. They were taken to a local hospital, and the shots were fired there in the food court of the Franklin Park Mall. And again, we've been hearing from people throughout the night who said that they heard the shots while they were there. Obviously, a very busy shopping day, one of the busiest of the year, the day after Christmas. A lot of people making returns or otherwise doing other shopping activities there at the mall. Our crew's still there trying to talk to people and get some information, but you can imagine that it was a pretty busy night as we're seeing one of the police cars take off there as the scene starts to quiet down. 2 people shot in the food court there. 1 suspect, or no word on a suspect, I should say. Again, no confirmation, no word on if there are any suspects in custody, according to Toledo police, who are still, again, obviously at this scene. We've seen several officers coming and going from the mall entrance there at Franklin Park Mall. All of this unfolding within the last hour-ish here in Toledo. So were any of you there? If you're watching this, comment below. Let us know if you've heard anything, if you were there or had anybody that you know who was there at the time and what they may have seen or heard. We don't know the ages of the suspects, by the way. Also, we don't have their names, and we don't release names of victims unless they have died. But the victims, police say, are believed to be under the age of 18. Whether they're teenagers, whether they were kids, we don't know. No word on what led up to the shooting, or if there was a fight, or if it was unprovoked. We don't know that. Still working to confirm those details with Toledo police, who really all they're saying right now is that they are 2 people who were shot who are under the age of 18. The mall is on lockdown as of last check with the mall security, who told us about 10 minutes ago that the mall is, again, still on lockdown, going to be shut down the rest of the night. So the mall's not going to reopen tonight because of this shooting. The lockdown remains there, and obviously a lot going on there, so they weren't able to give us a lot of information. But we're able to just say that the mall not going to reopen the rest of the night. Still too early to tell if they'll reopen tomorrow. We'll have to see what's going to happen tomorrow or not. But the only word that we have from the mall right now is that as of tonight, mall's not going to reopen. Mall's on lockdown. We had talked to one person, as you may have heard during our 7 o'clock live report, that there were people who were sheltering in place there, or who were on lockdown for some 30 minutes while they waited for police to sweep the building and to clear the scene of where that happened. Again, the shots were fired at the in the food court there. This is the Franklin Park Mall in Toledo, if you're just joining us in Toledo. The Franklin Park Mall, where shots rang out in the food court, we are told, just within the last hour, a little bit more than an hour ago, near 6 o'clock. So keep letting us know what you were seeing here, and we're out there looking to talk to people as well. Again, this is the Franklin Park Mall in Toledo. trying to figure out a lot of details here, but the mall clearing out, people told to go home, still on lockdown. And we've heard from a lot of people who are in there trying to figure out what was going on. They're just told to lock their doors, get people away from windows, and to bunker down there as the mall went into lockdown as soon as that shooting happened in the food court, affecting the entire facility there with the lockdown and now this closure that will be in effect for the rest of the night. The mall hasn't put out any statements or anything yet, or said if hours will be normal tomorrow. 2 juvenile victims, no word on any suspects. And we have seen the police presence here diminish here within the last 15 minutes or so. A scene that really began to form at around 6 o'clock at the top of that hour, and about 6:20 we were able to tell you on TV that there had been a shooting there, and that dispatchers originally confirmed that 2 people were shot. We just talked to detectives there who told us those 2 people are under the age of 18. So again, still trying to piece together some information here. Don't have the details on the victims, how old they were, if they were boys, if they were girls, but we know they were under the age of 18. Don't know who fired or how many shots were fired here. All things that Toledo Police will either sort out tonight or tomorrow morning. Every day, just a peek behind the curtain, police will release what are called UIs, unusual incidents, and they're either shootings or robberies or the major crime events that happen throughout the city. They'll release those UI reports the following morning that have a narrative of what happened, that have more details and more information, and that's something that we might have to wait for tomorrow to get there. And we'll see if they end up providing more information this evening. So far, we have the very basics that 2 people were shot. Both of them were under the age of 18. And no word on any suspects. But again, as we said, the police presence here has diminished here over the course of the last 15 minutes or so, potentially indicating that police are starting to wrap up their investigation here. The mall's still on lockdown at the last check by our crews, right around the top of the hour there at 7 o'clock. This is the Franklin Park Mall again in Toledo. There was a report that was widely circulated on social media over the weekend, by the way, at this mall, that there was some sort of active shooter. That was never confirmed to be true. When we were talking to police on Saturday evening, after we heard reports that there was something happening here, they said, no, that's just a social media rumor. There's no active shooter. There is no shooter or shots fired at the mall. Tonight, different story. This is a confirmed shooting at the Franklin Park Mall, and this isn't what we've heard throughout the day today, that there may have been hoax threats made. We've seen the bomb threats or shooting threats made all over the country over the course of this year, especially here in the last week. Just today alone, several medical facilities and local synagogues were targeted with hoax bomb threats. This is not a threat. This is an act that actually was carried out. Don't know what happened before this shooting. Also, to answer anybody's questions, I see Jessica just asked the comments, and no word on any suspects arrested. That doesn't mean that there hasn't been an arrest, but police haven't told us if they have made an arrest or if they have somebody in custody. We have asked. They have not given that information to us. So no word on a suspect, no official information on that front, just that 2 people who are under the age of 18 are the victims here. So you might see some chatter on social media about what did or did not happen. We don't say anything until it's verified by a credible source. And so to that point, to that effect, we haven't been able to confirm anything on a suspect. I'm seeing comments from people who have said that they were still on lockdown or just got out of lockdown. Everybody else at the mall is fine, according to all indications. Just it seems like an isolated incident in the food court by all indications here, but police haven't confirmed any information about what led up to the shooting or who the suspect is, who the shooters were, if the shooter was also a teen, if the shooter was also a kid here, or what happened leading up to it. So all details that we'll look to iron out and to figure out here before we come back on the air with you on Action News at 11. And of course, any major details we learn, we'll pass that along to you on our website and news app. That's going to conclude this special coverage. I'm Josh Croup. More coverage continues on 13abc.com. We'll be back with you tonight on Action News at 11 with any late developments on this story. For all of us here at 13 Action News, we thank you for watching Action News.